Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. I'm Lori Taylor. I love hosting this show. I always say this when I gather friends on the podcast, but oh my goodness, our guest today, special in my life and at the Produce Moms. And we had the best time when I was in Miami with them on their boat. We had so much fun.
We definitely did.
We are welcoming two of my dearest friends in the produce industry to the podcast today. So our guest today, we'll have Chris Gonzalez. He's the Vice President of Sales with WP Produce. He is second generation family farming ownership. His cousin is Desiree Morales. She is also Vice President of WP Produce. I'm convinced Desi is Chris's boss, but we can debate that in the episode today.
100% she is.
Desi is also second generation in family farming at WP Produce. And WP Produce is home of the Desiree brand, Desiree Tropical Avocados. We talk about them a lot at the Produce Moms. We really believe in what they do. WP Produce, really through Desi's leadership, recently started Tropical Fruit Box. Tropical Fruit Box is their division that is direct to consumer. So tropicalfruitbox.com, all sorts of these amazing boxes of tropical fruits. Everything's packed right there at the WP Produce HQ in Miami, Florida. And then they ship them all throughout the United States really quickly. Everything arrives very fresh. I love, love, love Tropical Fruit Box for my own personal use and gift giving. But hey, let's not delay. I've got friends waiting to be on my show. Chris, we'll start with you, and then Desi, I'll bring you on for intros. Chris, please say hello.
How you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm good, man. I'd be a lot better if I was on your boat with some Casamigos, but I'm good.
100%.
But no, seriously, tell us, so any brief intros for the team? Like, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
Yeah, well, actually, I've been working with WP for about maybe 20 years already. Got into the family business about 20 years ago with my cousin Desiree. And that's it, I guess, pretty quick.
That's great. So Desi, the boss, you're up. Say hello, please, and introduce yourself to our audience.
First, thank you, Lori, for having us on. Really, it's a pleasure to be on. We love you. We support everything you do and really believe in the Produce Moms. So thank you. Just thank you for having us on. I don't think I'm a boss.
Oh, girl, you are a boss. Own it.
I'm definitely not Chris's boss.
I know. He's just easy to tease.
He is. He's too easy. Things go wrong, just blame Chris. That's it.
But all the compliments, folks, those go right to Desiree's desk and office.
There you go.
She's actually making me do this podcast, by the way.
I know.
This is my first podcast.
Well, good. All right. Well, this is good. So Desiree, let's get you kind of in the hot seat first. I want you to tell the story of WP Produce, because this business was actually started by your father, correct?
Yes. So my father started WP Produce back in 1984. His background was really in the retail markets. He was a manager for one of really a chain throughout the United States of retail stores. And he realized with working the retailers, the retail market, he realized that they didn't service his own community with the products that he grew up with. So he was born in Cuba and he immigrated to the United States. So things such as tropical avocados, papaya, mamey sapote, he didn't find at his local grocery store. So he began sourcing these items from locally, from Homestead, which he lived very close, still does, to Homestead down in Florida, that a lot of these tropical items are grown. And he also began to import them from Dominican Republic, things such as tropical avocados, papaya, mamoncillos, things that he grew up with in Cuba, and it was very normal for him to have, even in New Jersey as well. And he's stayed with that all his career, and we have just done the next step to that, which is continuing those partnerships and these small family growers that we work with and have been working with. And now it's that second generation of growers that we're working with. And it's just really nice.
Yeah.
It's a family business. We really do keep it in our family. Lots of friends also. And these growers to us are family. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And so not only is this a second generation family farming business, this is also a Cuban American business. So we're really proud to work with you all at WP Produce. And Chris, I'd like to bring you on now to talk more specifically about the tropical avocado. I mean, because the Desiree brand tropical avocado is really the crown jewel of WP Produce, is how I would describe it, So talk to us more about the tropical avocado. Make sure that all of our listeners understand how this is different from other avocado varieties. I mean, people probably don't even realize that there's varieties within avocados. We've been trained to think there's one avocado because there's one type that's on shelf. I mean, if you ask people about avocado varieties, they'll probably say, oh, well, you can get them in a bag or you can buy them by the each, so
and usually actually what, a lot of people think about avocados is guacamole. Fortunately enough, we have an avocado. It's a little bit more versatile and, we can put in salads, soups. So it's a lot more different than guacamole. So that's very key, at least for this type of avocado. Also, it's more bang for your buck. I believe one of our avocados equals out to four houses. Four house
avocados. Yeah. So
correct.
Yeah, I mean, a tropical avocado I would compare it in size to almost a football. It's the way we describe it at the Produce Moms is, everyone, this is a naturally family-sized avocado.
Correct. Yeah, I would say more as a softball.
Yeah, it's not quite as big as a football. You're right.
But I've seen them that big though before. Yeah, and actually, what? Good point. Actually, it's non-GMO, so it's actually naturally grown that way.
Yes, you're right. You're right. So Chris, tell our audience a little bit more about all of the varieties with avocados. So we have the Hass variety, which is very mainstream. A lot of those are sourced from either Mexico or California. And I think that the, Americans are by and large very well versed with and familiar with the Hass variety. That is your mainstream avocado for sure. And the tropical avocado, if you talk to a Cuban American or anyone who grew up in Latin America, or even Florida for that matter, tropical avocado is potentially the mainstream avocado in their household. So Chris, tell us more let's dive a little bit deeper into the commodity. What does it look like? What are some of the characteristics that people can expect? And then please get into all of the varieties that exist within avocados.
Oh, wow. I don't think we have enough time for all the varieties.
I know.
There's alone, at least in Florida, you have about 50 varieties alone.
Of just tropical avocados, correct?
So just tropical avocados. Right. But with this avocado, the majority stay green and shiny on the outside compared to how it turns dark skin when it's ripe. Mm-hmm. So that's one big difference that it has. Another good point that I should say is it has less fat content. So if anybody, it's good fat anyways, but you know what? It's a little lighter in taste, like a little fresher. It's more like a taste of the tropics, I would say.
Yeah, it's refreshing or hydrating almost, and Chris gave me a tip when I started eating more of the tropical avocados after, becoming more familiar with them, which was absolutely a result of Chris's and Desiree's education and influence on my life and our professional life at the Produce Moms. But Chris gave me a tip. He's like, hey, put it in the refrigerator right before you cut it and let it get a little chilled. And oh my gosh, they are just like, it has almost that same property or hydration say it to you like a watermelon almost when you serve it chilled. It's very, tropical is the right way to describe it. And, so Chris just mentioned there's at least 50 varieties in Florida alone. So I would compare it, any ladies listening to the show today, I would compare it to someone saying, okay, tell me your favorite brand of high heels, or tell me your favorite brand of shoes. Like there are endless amounts of those. Okay. And there's and so that is, or even variety of shoes, and you have heels, you have wedges, you have sneakers, etc. So that's kind of how that's how I would compare this to like real life talk and connecting the dots with what we're talking about with these tropical avocados. I mean, there is such an abundant amount of variety. Chris, right now we're connecting right now, early November. This show's going to publish in just a couple of weeks. So right now is one of the best time of year, like one of the varieties that everyone at WP Produce is the most proud of, right?
Correct. Yeah. Which is a Semil variety, which is the most popular variety that's going on right now. And that was from Dominican Republic. It's also grown here in Florida, but the majority comes from Dominican Republic.
Okay, great. And so Desi, you mentioned previously that you work in partnership with a lot of small scale farms specifically in the Dominican Republic. Let's talk a little bit more about these farms. So, are all of the tropical avocados that WP Produce sells, are they all from the Dominican Republic? And how many small farms are you working with? And how do you vet the farms to make sure that they meet the standards of WP Produce?
Well, we're happy to say that the farms that we work with, they're all global food safety audited on a yearly basis. And that's really just been years in the making. And now it's just the standard for our tropical avocado in order to get that on the shelf at retailers. So it's kind of, a prerequisite for us, and we help the growers achieve that. We give them all the auditing help, all the manuals. We even, go over there, we visit the farms, we give them our advice, we tell them what to do, and we pretty much help them along the process. We work with about 30 to 40 different individual farms, and we also have our own farms over there in Dominican Republic. And what I like about the tropical avocado, and the reason Semil is our favorite, it's because in Dominican Republic, they grow on mountains. So the land's not as flat, and similar to a Hass avocado that you need altitude for it to get that very creamy texture, the tropical avocado, the Semil, grows in that environment. So it is creamier than other tropical avocado varieties. They all, I would say, have their own benefit, right? So you have some summer avocados that are nice and very enjoyable. They're just more water-based than the Semil variety, which is a winter avocado. So we've been working with growers for many years, and one of our really strong, I would say the strongest variety that we have coming from Dominican Republic is the Semil variety, which is starting now in November. And it will go through, what do you say, Chris? It goes, I would say, all the way through February.
Yeah, like the majority all the way through January, but a little bit through February as well.
Right. And it's very consistent. The main thing that consumers love about tropical avocado is the oxidation. It's much slower. It won't turn black as fast. You can pretty much wrap it up, eat half today, wrap it up, store it in the refrigerator, and the next day have the other half. And it really feeds a family of 4. I mean, it's a lot of avocado. It's the same as 4 of the little Hass avocados. So people really do enjoy it, especially families or for entertainment purposes. And it's great.
Yeah, no, it's
avocado we eat.
Yeah, it's a wonderful piece of fruit. I absolutely love it. And I look forward to supporting, the efforts of WP Produce to make it a common, a common standard product that's available in every grocery store across the United States. So Chris, let's talk specifically about that. Like, we've mentioned that let's talk about the market availability and market access today, and then the goals that WP has for scaling that. So right now, there is year-round availability of tropical avocados, right? I mean, most tropical, tropical
Correct.
products are available year-round.
Correct. That is correct. And actually, we're pretty much coast to coast right now, and actually even to Canada as well.
Great.
So it's just a matter of fact, if you can't find it at the retailer, go to your produce manager and ask for it. And that's very important, because if not, it won't be, it will not be at the shelf, or you could actually call Desi and get the tropical fruit box and she'll send you a box.
Yeah. And I've done that myself many a times, but no, so this is really exciting. And let's talk a little bit more, Chris. You and I have shared some, discussions and sentiments, especially when we were starting our brand partnership work together. This is not an effort to take down the Haas avocado by any means. This is not at all. When you think about most commodities within your produce department, there are multiple options within that commodity umbrella. So apples. You walk into the grocery store. When was the last time you saw one apple on the shelf? Never.
Correct.
Like no one living today in the United States can say that. Like there are
exactly.
Yeah. And
you have onions, you have yellow onions, you have red onions,
berries,
so many onions
lettuces.
As well. Correct.
Even something like celery. You've got it. You've got value added celery. You've got celery hearts. You've got celery stalks that are bulk. Like there's it's. Options are endless in the produce department, and they should be. So the push, and one reason we're so proud at the Produce Moms is, avocados, if you look at the consumer data and insights, avocados they have risen to an absolute household favorite in the United States. There's no reason that we shouldn't bring in this is the favorite variety for Latin America. Let's make sure it's on every grocery store shelf in the United States.
Correct.
And not as a means to replace, as a means to enhance the avocado category. Look at what has happened with tomatoes, which is like avocado's best friend, in my opinion. I love tomatoes and avocados together, but
agreed.
When you look at the tomato set at your grocery store, because I do remember when tomatoes didn't have, today you can have a 10 to 20 foot display of just tomatoes at the grocery store, which is amazing. I'd say at a minimum, you're getting at least a 5 foot display of tomatoes, but it's usually closer to 10 to 20 and, a dozen plus varieties. And I do remember when it was like, you had Roma tomatoes, you had round slicing tomatoes, and then you had maybe one snacking tomato, like a cherry or a grape tomato. And now look at how that category has expanded just within the last 2 decades.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And knowing what we know about people's, love fest with avocados, it's time to expand that category now because it's so easy to expand. We have access to this, and WP Produce alone. I mean, you guys, you're the largest in this sector. No one grows, sources, and ships more tropical avocados than you. Correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, it's amazing. So much to be proud of. So you mentioned they're coast to coast right now. I mean, any specific retailers you'd like to call out, or types of grocers?
So you can find them in Publix, Wegmans, Walmart, Albertson, and Rouse's at the moment.
Exciting. Can't wait till you can find them everywhere. We're all on a mission to make that happen, but that is quite the footprint, Chris. This is exciting. This is an exciting stage for tropical avocados and WP Produce.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll keep you posted, everyone, at the Produce Moms as, when new retailers come on, and you can certainly follow along with those announcements through WPProduce.com and their social media pages on Desiree Avocados as well. Desi, I want to talk to you about, anytime we have someone on the show that, you grew up with tropical avocados. You're second generation Cuban American. Your father started WP Produce. You were the passionary behind making this fruit highly accessible to everyone in the United States through the innovation and launch of tropicalfruitbox.com. So tell us, what's your favorite way to eat tropical avocados?
Well, my favorite way is actually my dad's recipe, Willie. And it's get the avocado. Once it's soft, cut it open, put a little bit of red onion. I know you guys were saying tomatoes. I like it with red onions. A little bit of olive oil, salt, and that's it.
Well, I've had that salad, first of all. It's delicious. And you're right. The red onion goes so well with it too. Yes. So, we've got a tradition here on the podcast. The two of you get the final thoughts. So Desi, we'll start with you for these final thoughts. Anything that you would like consumers and the folks that are with us today for the broadcast to know about tropical avocados, or any closing remarks that you might have for today's show? The mic is yours.
Well, I think tropical avocados should be a staple item for everyone. I also think Casa avocados are as well. It's just a different type of avocado. And I think everyone should taste it and enjoy it with their family.
I love that. Thank you. And Chris, we're going to give the mic to you for actually, of course, your final remarks, but also the final goodbye for today's show. So before I send that to you, I just want to remind everyone you can visit wpproduce.com or tropicalfruitbox.com. And I am so thankful that Chris and Desi, that the two of you came on the show today. I absolutely love working with you both. I believe in what your brand stands for. I believe in the family heritage behind this. We're really proud to work with WP Produce, Tropical Fruit Box, and support the growth of the Desiree brand through our work at the Produce Moms. But Chris, please, with any closing remarks and the last goodbye to all of our listeners.
So one thing I want to add is it's very important for when a consumer is about to eat our avocado, it yields a slight pressure. That's when it's ready to eat. And thanks for listening.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.